All right. So, bada bing, bada boom. Welcome back, everybody. Everybody. Huh? Good morning. Okay. So, welcome back. Welcome to day two. All right. Welcome to day two. So, couple quick things before we get started. So first off, when you have the chance, again, if you've used dishes, please clean it. I know I have one or I have a knife and I have a plate in there, so those are mine. But let's just make it easy for ourselves, you know. Unfortunately, they didn't give us a dishwasher. I'm gonna have to write to them about that. But anyway, second thing, also, please be very punctual with the time. Only reason why I say that is because the only reason why I say that is because every time that we're not punctual here, it takes away from out there, from you guys being underprepared out there. You get what I'm saying? And so like the purpose of here is to teach you guys and train you guys, get you ready for out there. And if we start later or if there's lots of side talking, then it takes away the time that we can be effective out there. Okay. So just keep that in mind. So if like, hey, the night ends like, the night ends like, hey, 1:30 we're gonna meet here, but you're still talking to people, communicate with me, so that way we can accommodate, get people home and stuff like that. You know, again, I'm all for having fun. Let's just communicate it. All right. But yeah, anyway, that's the most important thing, that we just be very concise today. So today we're gonna be very concise. I'm gonna ask you questions. I don't need a story. I may cut you off, but it's only because I'm trying to be concise. I'm trying to get you guys to the pool party, so we're not waiting in line. So that way we'll also have time to go get your outfits, and also come back and rest, and also be good for tonight. You get what I'm saying? So that's my achievement. I mean, that's what I'm looking for. So I cut you off, that's because I'm trying to be concise. So I'm trying to get you guys the most. Make sense? Beautiful. So next we're gonna start off with success stories. So pretty much go around like, hey, these were my wins for last night. So we're gonna start off with that. So hey, I did this, it was awesome. I did this and this happened. We're gonna start off with that. So what were some of your success stories?
Approach people, and a lot of time they just talk back or have always a good response or a good reaction.
Ah, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. All right. Anything else?
No, no.
Okay, great. What about you, Lance? Success stories.
Um, I met a stripper, and
Nice.
that's different. I thought it was gonna be a different experience, but it turns out that talking to them is actually easy.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I met some people, and I said hello to them with like some guys had like these weird mustaches.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
when I spoke to them, I complimented them on the mustache, and they opened up.
Yeah.
Basically, I was like, tell them, hey, like, say something to the ladies for the rest of us.
Yeah.
Uh, I complimented some girls, and some wasn't really responsive, but when I did use more positive energy, they opened up and was like,
Yeah.
oh, thank you. And it was like, where you from, and this and that. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
All right. So you got to open up some ladies. All right. Good stuff.
yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. So my next question is, so what worked for you last night? What was working for you? So when I ask that question, it is like, okay, well, this is what made it happen. This is what was going for me last night. So what worked for you last night?
We just keep it simple.
Mm-hmm. So keeping it simple. Yeah. I love it. Okay. Anything else that's worked for you?
Just try not to overthink it.
Okay. Keep it simple, not to overthink it. Good stuff. What about you, sir?
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. Keep it simple, and I found it more effective when I was not overthinking and just keeping it simple. But
Mm.
obviously, at some point, I got in my head. But yeah, when I wasn't, that's when
Mm.
things, I got positive reactions back from people, and
When
said
you when you kept it simple,
yeah,
and so essentially keep it, because the reason why I'm asking is because these are your keys to success. It's very important. Like, this is also part of the development process as well. When I was coming up and learning, after every night that I went out, I went on my computer and I wrote a field report. about what happened that night. And I would always write, this is what happened, like the three things. This is what happened. Like this is my success story. This is what worked for me. And so that helped me go, okay, so I'm gonna do this again. So before I was like, well, when I talk to them this way, I got a better reaction. So I'm gonna start, so that in my head, I'm gonna do it again tomorrow. That way this becomes more repeatable. You get what I'm saying? So like that with you, Lance, is just picking up like, well, what worked at the mall? Okay, well, let me do it again. Even think about like, what was my attitude? What was I saying? How was I moving? What was I believing? Using that and repeating it. So this is how we turn into a skill, not something that just happens by luck. So that's why they break it down. Okay, what worked for me last night? And for everybody to be different. Everybody, there might be like a simple little key. Like for example, for Anik, it may be planted stance. Like that might be his anchor that just triggers everything else. For you guys, keep it simple. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. You get what I'm saying? So sounds like we found the thing. The next question is, so looking back over last night, so what is something that you could have done differently or you intend to do differently? So looking back, you're like, okay, I see where I may have slipped up. This is what I'm going to do different.
More, more seeing things a little bit differently, as in like um, what stands out. Like you know something, and then what stands out to you. That's a thing that I was struggling with last night. Like I would see um, like the table, what's on the table, what sticks out to me on the table is a controller. You know, like stuff like that. Just keeping it simple and not overthinking it, or not trying to like be creative. And that was one of the big things that I was running into. I kept running into.
So what do you intend to do differently?
No, for example, notice the table and simple. See a water bottle. The water bottle is what sticks out to me because I'm thirsty. That's it. Don't go past that. Don't try to like get creative with it.
So what you're gonna do different. So to simple, because the only reason why I ask is the brain, it needs and it's like kind of like Google or machine. You have to tell it what to do. And so one way to improve upon what you just said, because what you just said is like, oh, notice a water bottle and, you know, okay, why, and it sticks out to me. But what does that tell your brain to, like, what directive is that? What direction is that? So for example, if I may, it's what I'm going to do different is keep it simple and just notice something and say why. Does that register differently? Or does that not make sense?
Yeah, elaborate on that a little bit more.
Yeah, sure. So essentially, like when I ask, like, what am I going to do differently? That question essentially sets you up to like what actions I'm going to do differently, and gives you very specific, clear things to do. So saying things like, "Oh, I'm going to be more playful," that's kind of vague, right? We need to break it down. We need to break it down into actions because actions give us very clear things to do. Like for example, if I would have told you, "Hey, do non-threatening body language," that's one thing versus, Lance, point your shoulder to the person you're talking to. And so that is very actionable and very specific things that you can do. You see the difference? So now you know when you're out there, now you're not guessing like, well, how do I be more playful? Now you've distilled it into an action that represents it. And so all you gotta do, as far as keeping it simple, is just point shoulder. So you see how in the brain it's just like point shoulder instead of be nonchalant, be non-threatening, lean back. To the brain, it's like, all right, as opposed to just point your shoulder. So that's what I mean. So when I ask the question, what do you intend to do differently? So based off everything you just said, and based off like some of the struggles and things you saw last night, what do you intend to do differently? So you said you're going to keep it simple. So what does keep it simple look like? Like if I'm watching a video, how do I know that Lance kept it simple? What am I seeing? What am I hearing?
Open up, like, okay, so open up, say, hey, this real quick. over here, and I noticed you over here. I noticed you over here with this. I noticed you over here
You're
with.
overthinking again. You're not keeping it simple. You're
Yeah.
doing this the exact same thing that we just said. And so, and this is a perfect opportunity. You're trying to be creative right now. You said keep it simple. Keep it simple is keep it simple is 3 sentences. 3 sentences. Real quick. I like your shirt because I like the pattern. Or rather, let me bring it back. At the mall, what did you do that kept it simple?
Well, I just said, hey, I just was like, hey, real quick. Oh, there was one girl that was sitting at a thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, I was walking by, like, what kind of was a little easy, but she made eye contact with me, so I was walking by, but I was like, no, let me say something to her. So I noticed that was her makeup, but it wasn't. So I complimented her makeup. Like, I asked her, are you wearing makeup? She said no. I was like, oh wow, you're gorgeous, like
Mm-hmm.
absolutely gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Because um, I thought you was wearing makeup, but obviously you're not. So
Mm-hmm.
wow, you got a gorgeous skin.
Okay.
And I was like, okay. And then I basically was like, okay, have a nice day.
Mm-hmm.
Go.
Right. So, as far as so based off that, what are you going to do differently today?
Just
Or let me rephrase. Based off that, what are you going to do today to keep the momentum going?
notice notice something on a person and just say, uh, I love your sweater, or I love your socks,
Mm-hmm.
because it reminds me of. Oh, I love your sweater, I love your socks because it's Tuesday.
All right, that's fine. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Because what's going to happen, like you saw at the mall, the more you did it, the more playful you got, the easier it got. And so I'm going to talk about that in a second, because I think one thing that was heavily overlooked yesterday was the warm-up. I don't think it was properly, or I probably didn't properly convey the importance of it. But what we saw, like from, across the board, how evident it was that once you guys warmed up, then you guys got playful. Then you started to talk. Then you started to think. And whereas the mistake that I saw a lot of you guys make was just try and jump straight into it, okay, let me get the mojo going. Let me do my thing. But then there was a stumbling, and then there was a discouragement, the doubting, and so that made that process turn into like a loop that made it difficult to actually, right? But, and I'm gonna talk about it again in a second, but like the importance of, like the reason why we warm up is because so we can get confidence and momentum by the time we do see that hit, the one we want to talk to, we're already in flow and state. Like Anik saw that, like by the time we were moving. I'll explain that in a second. But boom. So no, keep it simple. Exactly what you said. So Andrew, what are you going to do differently today? Anything you're going to improve upon? Anything you're going to intend to do differently?
I think just trying to keep a momentum going. I think trying not to hesitate in between sets or.
Yeah. So, okay, keep on. Is there anything else?
That's the biggest thing is kind of.
Okay. So if I may crystallize it for you, Nick, I think you left the microwave open. Yeah. Crystallize is essentially what you can do differently is shorten the time between you talk to people. Not wait as long to talk to people. I'm gonna talk to people at a quicker, between people quicker. So that's more of like an intention. That tells me the brain what to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Where like okay, we're like, okay, well, what do I do differently then? Easy. Don't wait as long to talk to people. And as long as you do that, you win. So make it a point. Again, that's why the 2x2 drill is fantastic. Or if you want between people, set a timer. Like, all right, I'm gonna wait this long to talk to the next person. I'm not gonna wait for the opportunity. And that's why I love the 2x2 drill, because it's just go to the nearest person next to you. All right, that's great. Anik, success stories. Let's start with that with you. What were some of the highlights?
Success stories, it's like now I'm comfortable enough that even if I get rejected here and there, right? Like for example, Lance and I, towards the end of the night, we're just talking to. I just opened up the group just right next to me at the bar, right? I had one drink. Lance and I just each had one drink. It was after midnight.
After midnight. That's within the rules. Within the rules.
Yep, within the rules. And then I just started talking to them, and they were not feeling it. But I was like, all right, whatever. And I just turned around and kept talking to them, right? I didn't walk away. I was just like, whatever.
Yeah.
So then we just went up. I was like, I'm not going to give up. Went to another group. I don't know. They asked us to do shots, but I wasn't sure if that was the other girl who asked us to do shots.
Yeah, two girls sitting down.
Yeah. She's like, you want to do shots with us? I was like, no. Hell no, man. Too old for that. I think she was interested in talking. The other girl wasn't, but whatever. And then we met up with you, and then we went back in there because I was like, hey, man, we still want to keep going. And then we went in there, and I just talked to a big group of people. Talked to one dude, talked to another girl, just out of nowhere, just started complimenting her on her dress. It's a multicolored dress opener.
Yeah.
So, and then she was cool.
Yeah.
She was pretty friendly. Talked to me and Lance for a while, and there was a girl wearing pink. Talked to her. So like, just because one set says no doesn't necessarily mean anything, right? Don't let that kill your mojo or your momentum. Because at that moment I was like, I want to keep talking.
Yeah.
I hit that finally.
You hit that, yeah, you hit that.
I'm just like, I want to keep going, right? So I feel like the important thing is like when you're having fun, you're enjoying the convo and the stimulation.
Yeah.
You want to keep that going and you want to build upon that.
Yeah.
Not to let one set ruin your night or kill your momentum.
There you go. So, what would you say do you intend to do differently?
So I thought about this. So there's 3 regrets I had from last night. 3 groups of hot women that I ran into multiple times, and yet failed to, stop them in their tracks. I mean, so in these settings, beautiful women can be a moving target.
Yeah.
And they're only in one place. They're like nomads. They're only in one place for so long until they like the vibe there.
Yeah.
But if you come in there and you bring the vibe, then maybe they'll stay. Right? So my old mentality, and this is something I still need to extract myself from this thought process, like, oh, there's a hot girl, I'm only going to approach them, and only approaches towards them is going to transfer to other hot girls, but I think I need to just get used to the whole warm-up thing, just talk to anyone everywhere, and so you're just a very social person every day of your life, and when you run into, and then that preparation will, when it comes to that time to talk to the hot girls, you'll be ready. It won't be a big deal.
Yeah.
Right? So I was like second guessing, because then I was like, oh, this matters in the back of my mind, and I don't want to mess this up, right? So then what is the perfect opener and all that? And you're like, no, you gotta let all that go.
Yeah. Like how would you do it? You open it? Like, nah, I'm not opening it. I'm not opening it.
Yeah.
Okay, but you see how it works. Yeah, see how it works out.
So that's where I froze up, was with the hot girls.
I did notice that. Yeah. So
every time there's hot girls, like, oh shit.
Yeah. So as far as so I have my personal notes for you guys. So for Anik, for you, the top thing is just shut up and listen to Pablo. That's for everybody. It sounds funny, but
That's the going thing. So.
But
like you're right, Pablo.
but it's funny, but shut up and listen to Pablo. You saw what happened. I called it out, and then it happened. Like, do this because of X, and then X happened. But yeah, for Anik, I think you got it. A lot of the notes you just said. So one thing I said is for you is to expand your long-term thinking. Because prior to those moments tonight, it was seeing like those hot girls as the end goal, as the main event. I have to do it instead of seeing it as seeing it over the course of a night. So one of the things that I like to do, and I was telling Anik, is what you want to do is you might see a woman, you're like, this is it, I have to do it. For me, in my head, like, no, this is one, over the course of the night, I'm using her to get ready for the women I'm gonna meet here. Because as you guys saw, by the end of the night, you guys saw some hot women. You guys saw some women that you wanted to talk to. And my mentality is, I'm gonna crash and burn, do whatever I got to do here and get social. I'm gonna talk to as many low-hanging fruit as possible. So by the time I meet her, I'm already in the zone. You see how that works out? And so with Anik, I was saying, like, he saw me. So with Anik, we were walking, I was saying hi to everybody. I was like, hi, 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 hello. Some people didn't say hi back. I was like, hello, hello. I went and complimented some woman. There was one woman who gave me just a dead look as I complimented her on her hair. She was like, looked at her friend.
She's like, fuck off.
Yeah, either fuck off or she don't understand English. But you know, in my head, this is my thought, either fuck off or she don't understand English. But either way, I didn't care, because what happened was that after we did that, within maybe 3 minutes, we went inside one of the lounge areas and me and Nick were already in a group. So that one didn't matter, because within 3 minutes, we were succeeding. So one thing is like to not think about like, oh no, I fucked up, stuff like that. You gotta think long term and stuff like, I'm using this one to get ready. I'm using this one to build for the next one. So in my mind, the one I'm talking to never counts. It's always in preparation for the next one. And that's how I stay detached. So for me, in my mind, as I'm talking to a woman, no matter how hot she is, in my mind, this is just practice for the next woman I'm about to meet. And that way, I'm not so attached to winning or losing, because I'm just using you to practice respectfully using. But I'm like practicing on you to get ready for her that I'm about to meet at the end of the night.
Punch it back to get to the actual human person that you spar with.
Exactly. So in my head, each person I'm talking to is just a person I'm sparring with. Because like you saw, again, if you reverse engineer your night, right? The women you met at the end, like imagine this, replay the night, and I did this with Anik. So the women that you saw at the end of the night that you wanted to talk to, right? Now, imagine you said hi to all the people you passed up because they weren't attractive enough. I wasn't interested in them. I had nothing to say. All those people that you passed up, imagine you had talked to them. And by the time you met her at that night, let's say, for example, we went out at 10. All the people you saw from 10 to 12 that you didn't talk to because you weren't interested in or for whatever reason, okay, imagine you had talked to them. And the woman that you met at midnight, at 12:30 at Cosmo, you would have all that practice, all that warm up to be social. Okay, so.
That's why I was less nervous when we was talking to that stripper.
Because by that time.
Yeah, by that time we had talked to a girl for like 30 minutes, right? And so we're like, okay, time to go. And then we just opened her randomly with some random shit, and she was fine.
I was thinking like, why am I like? I was just like in my shit, like.
It's all here, right? Nobody else in the world has any control over
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah, exactly. So, let's see. By the way, is this in frame with the camera? Could you check real fast?
Yeah.
So look, this is the night, right? Let's say this is the course of the night. Okay, so during the course of the night, you have maybe a grandma here and her husband at the Grateful Dead concert. We have a few non-attractive women here. We have some employees here. We have one hot woman here. Okay, maybe another one here. This is a couple dudes. And then we have, anyway, another hot woman there. And then we have super hottie there. Maybe her friend, like that, right? So over the course of the night, what happened was that you guys, what I saw is that you guys were just focused on this one, and this one. But what ended up happening, there was no warm up, no nothing. You guys try to get straight into it, and so you guys stumbled, which ended up causing like, oh, this is hard, self-doubt. You take that self-doubt here, and then by the time you reach here, you're like, oh, I wish I would have talked to her. Like Anik, like, oh, by the time we saw the super hot women, the 10s that we wanted, right? And these might be 10s as well. But these are all like, but by the end of the night, like, all these are the 10s that I wanted. But because you didn't do anything here, that's why you're gonna miss out on opportunities. Like, oh, I can't talk to them, I'm gonna miss out. As opposed to what I propose, which is, I'm gonna say hi to you. And by the time I reach her, I already had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 opportunities to warm up. I'm in the zone. And then my mentality is that these, right? These are just practice for this. In my head, when I talk to this person, I'm just using it to warm up for this person, for the next person. Because I know at the end of the night, I'm going to, stand up.
So the mushrooms, the turtles, the Mario Star, all that stuff is necessary to get to the castle, basically, to get to the guy, the women that are super high. Like,
Yeah,
you have
pretty
to-
much. Yeah, pretty much. So you see how it works out? Because remember again, perfect example with Nick. We were at the bar. We were in the first place. There was this woman, her friend, one of the friends was more attractive, and she had a purse, right? By the time
I
we,
noticed the purses too late.
right, yeah. So by the time we got to her, right, by the time we got to her, Anik was like stuttering, and we're like, well, all right, how do we open? What do we do? What do we do? But prior to that, we were walking, right? We were walking from one side, from one hotel to the other. We were walking. In that way, I was like, say hi to people. Let's stop people. But there was zero like experience points. Pretty much, you won't put a video game terms, this is experience points. Every person you talk to gives you an experience point.
You're leveling up.
You're leveling up. So by the time the end of the night, you have 9, 10 experience points. But in the case of Anik, I'm not picking on you, I'm just using it as an example. But by the time we saw the 2 women he wanted to talk to, he had only like 2 experience points. He only talked to 2 people, right? To two people. So then, boom, missed opportunity, right? Missed opportunity. And then within that time period, from the time we were walking to the time we saw them, I want to say, let's just call it approximately like 30 minutes, right? So approximately 30 minutes, open 2, 3 sets. So 3 groups of people, like 3 conversations. So 3 combos, okay? So then when he followed me, I'm like, all right, just do what I do, right? We walked around for, I want to say 10 minutes, right? Within 10 minutes, I said hi to so many employees. I approached one woman, then I approached a group. So by the time I was in my 3rd conversation, by the time I got to combo number 3, I was already in a group. Because the reason why, so this is the difference again. So let me recap. So this is a moment in time when we saw the hot women.
Yeah.
So between then and that, we were walking. Okay, there was no talking or saying hi to people. By the time we reached there, he had 0 experience points, or rather, 3 experience points, and was not ready for this moment. But 10 minutes, I got the same result in a third of the time. And actually, this last one, the 3rd conversation, it was a group with one guy. He was staying with us while his friends were leaving. He wanted to stay there talking to us. So the thing that's why the warm-up is very important. So that's why you talk to everybody. You give value to everybody. Because not only are you making people feel good, but you're getting in the zone. Operation Get in the Zone first. So one big takeaway for everybody is, all right, phase 1, like that's why I say this is phase 0. Or rather, I'm going to change the phases up a little bit. Right, I'm going to change it up a little bit. But so I'm actually changing the phases. So phase 0 is look good and warm up. Look good and warm up. Do not start approaching people until you're warmed up. You can, but it's going to be, as you saw, a little bit more difficult. All right? So anyway, let me just get back to everything. So yeah, Anik, just long-term vision. Now you see the importance of the warm-up, and that's a part of the process. Yeah, that's a part of the process. Why is this fucking doing this?
But I also think it's a really good habit because every day it'll make me better at just being friendly and social.
Absolutely. Can you help me out with this? That's why it's not coñazo.
Oh, yes.
So how does this go, man?
Man, it's set them up. Wait. Loosen it up a little bit. Because I want to get it, we got to get it over it.
Oh, okay, let's go up.
There you go.
Down.
Now we tighten it. Yeah, appreciate you guys.
Watch your fingers.
There we go. Actually,
This is the weirdest design.
it is. Hold on a
It's
second.
freaking weird as hell.
So that's one. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
So understand that the warm-up is part of the strategy, is part of the game. It's gonna go like this.
Oh, let's see.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, appreciate it. So that's one feedback. Anik, as you know, your arms. Told you about that. So that's another thing to work on. The other thing also to compliment you on it is your posture. Your posture was great last night. All right. Yeah, I watched you in set, and your posture was great a lot of the times. It wasn't, it wasn't like we were talking about like this, but your feet looked planted in a lot of your conversations.
Okay, so it wasn't an issue anymore. Like I was just, because it's just comfortable for me to do this. But
Yeah.
you're saying this is too feminine.
No. What I'm saying is, it's just what we were talking about yesterday when we were here. Just like that. Just like that. That was great. That was great. So
Feels comfortable.
Yeah.
Feels planted.
yeah, so that was great. And the only thing is, like I said, what else we got here? It is, so posture was great. Oh, and also, I have a note here. Your success rate with the hotties will come from the Uggies. because like the key, like again, what I noticed to Anik's key success is that like he wants to, when he wanted to talk to the attractive women, he didn't like show up, underprepared for the moment. But when he talked to just anybody, he got in a state which led him to, like by the time the hotties came around, he was in the zone. So like that's the key to your success. And a lot of people, like a lot of guys, and actually it's a great point, a lot of guys overlook the people who are not exactly attractive. Like, oh, well, I'm not, like, what's the point of talking to her? I'm not interested in her. Why would I talk to her? That's, right, I say that's the biggest mistake. Because one, that's a selfish point of view. Number two, because like, oh, what can I get out of it? But number two is you're actually being short-sighted. And so if you just talk to everybody, as we saw, by the time you see her, you're already in the zone. You're already social. You already got that mojo going. So long story short, arms, posture was good, long game, talk to the Uggies to get to the hotties.
I'm actually really glad though that I was able to hold conversation with like people I had zero interest in.
Yeah.
That's because I think that just gets you better at social skills in general, which is really important to me.
Yeah, I mean, but here's the other way too that I think about it too is I like to think big picture, and one of the big picture is that you're not thinking about yourself. Because if you think about, this person, like, the best thing you could do is to give somebody value who can do nothing for you. Like, that's the best way to operate. If they can't do nothing for you, but you're that person to give out energy, energetically, the world responds to that. They know, like, women can smell, like, when a guy's just out on the prowl, like, I'm only talking to you because you're hot. But her friend can sense that. Or he's only talking to my friend because she's pretty. And then who knows where she is, but she may be like, oh, let's get out of here. Or another guy just talking to the pretty friend. But if you're truly that social guy that gives to everybody, it's going to come back to you. And not only that, you never know who you meet. Like, people are going to want to come and hang out with you because you never know. That random person that you might be talking to that looks like they can't do nothing for you is the owner of the bar. I can't tell you in Sayulita how many times I've talked to people and I'm like, what do you do? And they're like, oh yeah, no, I run this restaurant. I'm like, oh shit, I eat there. And these people, they look like average people. But it's because you talk to everybody. So don't just be like, oh, I'm only gonna talk to you because you can't, you can do something for me. You get what I'm saying? That's a very selfish, short-sighted way to see the world, to do stuff. And
We'll talk to people that basically you talk to everybody, especially people that can't do nothing for you.
yeah, and I'm not saying stay there and talk to them for like 2 hours, but in a sense, like, make it a mission to be that light and to give to the world, to make people's day feel better. Where they're like, you know what, I made somebody's day. Maybe for them, maybe like one thing I like to do is talking to dudes who look like shy, For them, they're like, oh, I'm having a hard time. But if you're that cool guy, like, yo, what's up, big guy? Yo, come on, come hang out with me. Like, I'm gonna help you out. You just made somebody's day better, right? And just to live like that, like as a general principle, it's the best way to just to be a giving person. Like literally, the world responds to you. I can't tell you now. Exactly. I'm not saying stay there and talk to them for 15 minutes. Like end the conversation, but like give to them. Don't just turn it on when you want something. Give it regardless, because now it's no longer a trick, it's who you are. And that's what I'm trying to get you guys at. Not to show you tricks, but this is who I am. And who you are, that type of game, you get to the point where you attract women for just being you. Where you no longer need lines, where you no longer need routines. You get to the point where, Lance, remember when we were in Sailita, I was talking to you about the sunglasses and that one woman came up to me? That's the effect. All right, so let me just really quickly go by. So Lance, with you, leave your notebook at home. Write your notes on it. Yeah, kills the vibe. All right, and it's also a crutch. Leave the notebook at home. Take a single sheet of paper. Write whatever you need to, or keep it on your phone. Other thing is, again, keep doing what works. We just talked about that. Keep it simple. Keep it simple and focus on building momentum first. All right, Andrew, we have. I'll come back to it when he comes back alive. I know his work schedule. So anyway, so real quick, I want to do a quick review. Go Neo, man. I mean, the other one would not have been as great either way. Stupid. Yeah. Oh, maybe cone shape. All right. So before I move on, does anyone have any questions? Yeah, Lance, that might be it. Does anyone have any questions? Like anything like, hey, Pablo, what do you do in this situation? How do I respond? Does anybody have any questions?
Okay, so you said warm up and do what works, like basically just keeping it simple. And like what keeping it simple looks like is simply just you notice something and then just why do you notice it? Like because it's blank. Like because it's Tuesday. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Don't overcomplicate. Don't, yeah.
Once you do that, I noticed, when I did it right, once I did that, they just,
Exactly.
yeah, okay.
Any other questions?
And smile.
And smile, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Andrew, real quick, from yesterday with you, great job with the gun-ho attitude, and like I'm gonna go do this. Keep it doing, and just keep doing what you're doing. And the only thing I would tell you, just shorten the time. You're doing great. Let's just shorten the time between talks. And second thing, two things. Smile. All right, smile and use your eyes. You have beautiful eyes. Use your eyes to seduce people. Like I'm gonna make you have the mentality. I'm gonna make you fall in love with my eyes. Be cocky about it. You do have great eyes, and so smile and use your eyes.
Yeah, I do have
And
to
then-
say that it was very admirable. Anytime they would say, hey, yo, Drew, you're up. The first person he seemed to was right. Hey, nice tattoo. Hey, nice shirt.
Great job.
Yeah.
And so, all right. So now I want to do something really quickly. I want to, one thing I realized that what may help you guys is to see what the whole process looks like, instead of just like working piece by piece. Show you what the whole process looks like. So that way, like, okay, this is what the completed product looks like. So I'm gonna write it down, and also I rework the structure just a little bit. Is it still going? All right, so it's gonna look like this. All right, so let me see if I can do this. You good to warm up? All right, so So this is it. This is it simplified. This is it simplified. If you want to see the whole thing, this is what it looks like in action. Ready? The whole thing. Ready? Look good. We've already done that. So this is phase, I'm going to call this phase 0, phase 1, phase 2, and then phase 3. Okay? So
Did you cut out a face?
I simplified it. Yeah. So it might be
Got
easy.
rid of the leaf?
Yeah, so the leaf is going to be implied. Depending on your skill level, your leaf is going to be at 2 different places. So for you guys, your leaf would be here. For Nick, your leaf would be here. Because you can push a conversation a little bit further. But the leaf is important at a certain point. So I'm just going to, I'm just going to put a little AA here. And then I'm going to put LC and UB for here. But Nick, you also have the option to leave here as well. But
Sure.
so anyway,
But here's my question. So sometimes in the past, I've been tempted to leave when I feel like I don't have anyone, anything to say.
I got an answer for that.
It's like to
I got an answer.
interject.
Yeah, I got an answer for that. So first, let me show you essentially what it looks like. Ready? Look good. We've already done that. Do the pre-work of having your fashion already taken care of, looking like a superstar. Boom. Warm up. What does that look like? The answer to that, it is 2-minute drill or low-hanging fruit. Okay? 2-minute drill. This is it. Like, it's not game time yet. I'm not talking to anybody on purpose. I'm here getting warmed up. So for me, like I did with Anik, 2-minute drill. Hey, how you doing? Hi, how you doing? Just saying hi. Hey, how's it going? Nice jacket, and go. Hit and go. Or low-hanging fruit, which means I'm gonna start a conversation with I'm gonna start a conversation with the grandma. I'm gonna start a conversation with the cash register person. The easiest people I can find. I'm gonna go banter with the fucking cocktail waitress who has to be nice to me. The purpose of it is just to warm up. Once I'm in the zone, game time. Now we're going. Then, this is how it looks like. Open with value. I'm in a room, I'm like, hey, real quick, this will take 2 seconds, but listen, I really love your shirt because the collar and the different color, that's really a high quality shirt. And I really love that. It's super awesome. Anyway, yeah, no, it's super awesome. I'm trying to make it really simple. I'm gonna do this 2 versions. One for you guys, one for you guys. Yours is a little bit more detailed in advance. Okay? So, first version. So, it's like, hey, I really love your jacket. I really love your button-up shirt. Because I love the collar and it looks really nice. It's really awesome. It's pretty cool. Anyway, I know. Have a nice night. Boom, boom, boom. I make you laugh, say a little joke. Boom, boom, boom. I come back. I'm like, oh, it's my man with the... Now I return for phase 2. Oh man, it's my guy with the collar. Yo, how you doing? You having a good night, my man with the good collar? And then I'm gonna do a display of excellence, which is what we're gonna talk about. This is a way to hook them in. This is storytelling, games, things like that. Okay? Let me see if I can break this down. Okay, pretty simple. So these are the tools. So anyway, I come back. Is this making sense so far? Yeah? So this is what it looks like.
Phase 0, look good, warm up.
Yeah, so I warm up. Boom.
Talk to everyone.
Yeah.
Low-hanging fruit.
Once I'm warmed up, now I'm game time. I'm gonna start conversations with value. Say, hey, nice jacket. Boom, boom, boom. This looks awesome. All right, have a nice night. Hey, Anik, you look cool too. Hey, nice jacket. Nice to meet you. Hey, boom, boom. Now I'm gonna leave. Okay, this is the leave portion for you guys. So, hey, boom, boom, really nice. All right, I'll see you later. This is super nice. Boom, boom, I'll see you later. It's really nice. Boom, boom, I'll see you later. Then, to the most receptive people, I come back around and I'm gonna flirt and also show off. AKA impress them and flirt. Simple language. these are the ways that you impress them. We will learn
to
impress. We will learn this today. So now I came back. Now, if you two are my more receptive ones, now I'm gonna come like, oh, look, it's my man with an awesome shirt. Listen, that reminds me. Let me tell you this story. When I was traveling, I was actually in India and I saw something beautiful. And now, the interest is starting to come in. Okay. Now, I'm sorry. I'm really trying to make this simple. I'm trying to get you guys the best, but also make it simple. Allow me to try it one more time, a different way. So you guys can do it. I'm gonna write it two different ways, one for you and one for you. So anyway, this is what it looks like mentally, but here it is. We know the warm up, so we're going to, ready? This is exactly it. Compliment. Compliment. Follow up, question, joke, follow-up question, joke, story. This is where you will, all right, if you do it well, this is where you hit the hook point. This is where you hit the hook point. The point where they get you in. Now explain it. Follow-up question, followed by return, excellent, flirt, and then continue. This is what it looks like in a nutshell, okay? So after you want, this is what's gonna happen, and I'm gonna give you guys examples. Open with a compliment. After you give them a compliment, you're gonna follow it immediately with a question, joke, or story about it. You guys seen different examples. So remember when we talked to that guy in the mall and he had the long gray hair? I said, hey, I love your hair. My joke was that, you know, because I'm really jealous and I wish I had luscious hair like that. And so, but immediately I said that joke, he turned around. And he was like, oh, you know, and he started going to the story. Anik, with us, when the guy opened with a compliment in the what's it called? In the bar with a beard. Hey, nice beard, right? And then he, you know, sometimes a compliment will do it for you if it's good enough. But this is your second backup. This is your backup. And then he was like, you know, you gotta grow it out you gotta just grow it out and groom it. And I was like, the joke, no, but it's that homeless period. You know what I'm talking about. You know, when you grow your beard and you look homeless, that in between, right? And you see, because everybody who knows a beard knows what I'm talking about. The moment I said that joke, he turned around, we got him. Okay? So this is how you get people interested.
Oh, that's the hook. Okay.
That's the hook. The reason why is because the compliment, right? The compliment is, again, it personalizes. It's about them. When you start saying the hook of the story, essentially inviting them to interact with you on their favorite topic, themselves. So the way that looks like is, hey man, you know, I really love you. I really love the shirt that you have going on. It's really classy. It gives me James Bond vibes. Are you like a secret agent? So now that follow-up is like, yeah, I am a secret agent, and I do want to talk about this topic, which is me. You're inviting them to talk about themselves.
Oh, so that's how you get them to talk about themselves.
That's how I hit the hook.
Like the attention, right?
Yeah.
People like it, and that's how I hit the hook point consistently. That's how every time people are like, oh, like Anik, you saw it play out with the beard, same thing. And so after this, you're gonna keep talking. You're like we did, like, oh, the beard was funny, oh, haha. So we kept talking for a bit. Now at this point, you guys, at this point, you go, okay, boom, have a nice night. All right, I love it. I'll see you later. Anik, I'll share your version in a second. All right, so then imagine that. Hey, oh, because it's James Bond. You like James Bond, like Secret Agent? Haha, we're going to talk about Secret Agent stuff. This is my favorite movie. And at the height, I'm like, all right, yo, you're so awesome. I'll check you out later. Then I return. Hey, It's my, look, it's James Bond right here, little Idris Elba look-alike. Now, but see how you're feeling, how I came back in with energy? And like, he's back again. All right? So now that I return, I'm going to give you a display of excellence. Now, a display of excellence, long story short, it is you're presenting something of value for them. You're giving them a reason to be interested in you. Okay? So you could do that a couple different ways. We'll talk about that. You could do a story. Like, I want you to imagine this. Hey, it's James Bond. Oh, by the way, I actually went to a James Bond screening where I saw Daniel Craig there, and we were blue, boom, 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 boom. Now you see how now, like, oh, this guy's interesting. That's the effect now. Then now it's interesting. You're gonna be like, oh, really? Well, this is my favorite James Bond. And then I'm gonna go, you like that? Oh no, you're weird. I can't talk to you anymore. So you see how now the up and down is working? Okay? And then now we're flirting. Now at this point, you have the option. You can leave, or you can stay there and invite to continue how you want. So what happens is like this, right? You come in with a compliment up here, right? You come in with a compliment about midway. Then you hit it, you hook them, boom, you're up. Then you leave, right? Then you leave, but they're still thinking about you. You come back and do a display of excellence. Oh, I'm excited and interested in him again. Then you flirt, and then you're off. And this creates a roller coaster effect. So this makes sense, like how the conversation goes? Like the full product? Do I need to repeat it, or does it make sense?
Okay, so compliment.
Follow-up question or joke, or sort of joke. That's how you hook them in. And by the way, too, sometimes I'll do all three. So to answer your question, Anik, right? I'm gonna do all three. If I don't, I'll do all three while I'll ask them a question, I'll make a joke, and I'll tell a story. Like, that was my 3 attempts to get them hooked in about the compliment. If they're not hooking after 3, I eject. But it doesn't mean I lost them, because as I work the room, they will see me and I will re-engage again. Because all it means is not a rejection, it just means it was low interest. All right, there's a difference between rejection and low interest. Rejection is like, oh, get away from me, right? Or like just quietness. That's, in my mind, that's, for me, I don't register rejection. For me, there's no rejection. For me, it's either high interest or low interest. The only thing that's straight up rejection is her saying, no, get away from me. For me, that's a rejection. But if she's like, or like that, in my mind, it's just a sign of low interest. And so if I want to, I'll come back and try again and see and feel it out again. Because maybe by that point, right? Maybe by that point, she will have seen me, right? She will have seen me talk to people, right? He has a rough schedule. Like, he has a night schedule. Like, there you go, big guy. Welcome back. All right. And so, but anyway, I still might re-engage because she still might see me with other people and be like, oh wait, I actually misjudged him. And I'll come back a second time and try the process again.
Okay, so basically, if a person says no, get away from me, that's rejection.
For me, like, I listen to, that's fine.
But if they're silent or they like don't respond.
If they give you low, like, oh hey, nice, thank you, stuff like that, it's like low interest. And then at that point, you can be like, okay, have a nice night, and I'm just gonna spend my time with people who have higher interest. If you want, you can go back and say hi again. Yeah. But again, because you want to be respectful, you also want, like, you don't want to impose, all right? You want to impose. You can try. Maybe you can try again because you don't know the situation, and maybe do. And again, in a light way, like, hey, just to see how they respond. If the second time you're still like this, then I don't do it. Then I just go find somebody else. All right. So.
How often do you get a hey, get away from me?
Never.
Exactly.
Right. Because of the way. No, because of the 3-step approach, I've never gotten a hey, get away from me. All right. So anyways, so does this make sense, Lance? So again, you're gonna open with a compliment. Like, this is the entire process. Hey, Lance, great shirt. Question, follow-up question or joke. Hey, you look like James Bond. Are you James Bond? Do you like James Bond? Boom, I hooked you in. Because I gave you something you're interested in better. And then we're gonna talk about James Bond. All right, I'll check you later. I left you on a high. I return. It's James Bond. It's Idris Elba. Hey, I went to a James Bond premiere. And I met Daniel Craig, and then And then you're like, oh, I like Sean Connery. And I'll be like, oh, no, you like Sean Connery? We're not friends. Flirting now. And now we're going the back and forth thing. So this makes sense?
So when you return display of excellence, is basically reigniting
The spark.
spark.
You are showing off, giving them something to be interested in.
Okay.
All right? So
And display excellence, flirt, and then after that you cut the conversation again and you go to the next person, or
yeah, so you can go to the next person. If it's really hot and popping, then you just invite to continue however you want.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. What's my thought process? So Anik, your version is this. Your version, it's the process stays the same, but instead of leaving here, you leave either here or here. So essentially for you, for Anik, I would say, especially if you want to push the envelope, your option to leave would be either here or here.
After flirting.
Yeah.
But if you're flirting and she's feeling it, why not just
Well, if she's well, here's the thing. Obviously,
exchange at least info?
here's what I'm saying is that I'll leave it up to you for you what you want. All right, because if she's flirting and she's just giving you like pretty much, that's a good question. So she's flirting and she's giving it back to you and it's very high, you stay. Okay. If the flirting is like medium, leave and come back. Right? But if I were you, yeah, if I were you, I would leave after the display of actually I would leave after display of excellent and then return back to flirt. So instead I was actually for you, yeah. Because for you, hey, what's up? I love your shirt. Oh, you're really cool. Okay, hey, by the way, let me tell you this quick story about boom, 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 boom. Build the value, generate that interaction, then leave, return back, and then start the flirting again. So for you, if you want to push the envelope, for you, your goal is to get to here, then leave, then return back to flirt. That's essentially
So
it.
leave right after the display of excellence.
Exactly, because when you leave after display excellent, you just showed off he's such an awesome guy. He's so interesting. And then you're that guy who's moving around the room, who has a lot of things to do, and you leave him on a high. And so like, oh wait, no, I want you to stay, which sets up the stage perfectly for when you come back and flirt. Your flirting will be better received because now you're creating desire. Desire happens when there's a gap. When there's a gap there's a vacuum between what you have and what you want. So right now, by them talking to you, they have you. But then because you're giving them attention, but when you leave, you're creating that vacuum. The thing that I want is no longer there, which creates desire. Desire is essentially a vacuum between what you want and what you have. That's the definition of desire. At least the way I define it. And so when you give it to them, and imagine talking to somebody, yeah, and he's telling you fantastic stories. Man, I went traveling to India. Then I was skateboarding with Tony Hawk here. And then actually I met the real Daniel Craig. He actually owes me money. And you're like, yo, this guy's so fast. And then midway through, he's like, actually, I'll be right back, guys. On that height, you're like, wait. I was so having fun talking to you. And so now when I come back, you're much more receptive. You're like, oh, he's back. And now when you do initiate flirting, it's going to be more received, well received.
So what do you eject? Would you say something like, hey, I'm going to go check out one of my friends. I'll be right back.
Yeah, that's great, yeah.
But you tell them, I'm like, hey, I'll see you in a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'll see you in a bit. I'll be right back. I'm going to go check on my friend.
Can you describe to me what flirting is? Like, explain.
You're not there yet. We're going to talk about that tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Right now, we're just going to focus on this right now. All right? So, we got about a little bit of time. So, Doug, did you see the text that I sent about the pool parties and stuff?
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Okay, thank you, yeah. Yeah, because my plan is to leave around 1:15. All right? So, but first question. When you see it all put together and how it really works, do you see how it makes sense?
Yeah.
Does it give you an idea of like what you're trying to achieve?
Yeah.
Anik, do you see how you're trying to achieve? I know you asked like you want to see the full vision.
Yeah, so reach that point and then you do a display of excellence for me.
Pretty much, yeah. And how to
Then you leave.
exactly. And so as far as how to hit temporarily, as far as how to hit the hook point. By the way, when you leave, you're gonna go around the room repeating the same thing. So I mean, you're gonna go another group, you're gonna do this. Another group, do this.
So all that basically does the roller coaster effect, the up and down. Just doing that by itself. And then like, let's say you find someone that's like, let's say the person that's more receptive to you, when you go back to them and talk to them, you can pretty much stay there if, you know, it's cool or whatever, and just continue like that. And it's still doing the same thing because the thing that was making them feel fun, like it was fun, is back.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, same thing. I mean, we could put a bunch of analogies. Your favorite TV show comes in, your favorite video game comes in. You have so much fun, but then they take it off air. We'll be back next season. You're like, oh, I want the show to come back. I want the show to come back. The show comes back and it hits you harder. And now you're even more invested.
Okay.
Same thing with conversation, same thing with video games. Again, like I said, you know, part one came out, you have fun, it hooked you in. Part one hooked you in. Display of excellence, you had so much fun. But then it's over. Cut screen because it's coming to part two, like a movie. Like a movie, essentially you're doing a movie effect. You get their attention, right? You hook them in, and then you just show cool shit and explosions, and then you just cut to black. You're like, what the fuck happened? And then it says, the Avengers will be back in, Endgame 2. And you're like, oh shit. So then when Endgame comes back, you're fucking there buying tickets. You're pre-ordering. Like, this is what we're using.
Okay.
Make sense?
Got it.
I think, do you see how yours works? So for you, you're pushing to here, and then you're leaving. Now, as far as display, now, we're gonna get into, and we'll talk about it more in the car, but let me get just briefly into display of excellence. And I'm trying to do a time crunch. Fuck it. Well, fuck it. All right. So let's go into display of excellence. So a display of what a display of excellence means, essentially, you're displaying something that you're great at. So either something that you know a lot about, something you can really good at, something you know a lot about, something you're really good at, and where is it? Yeah. Did I have it here? Yes. Yeah, anyway, so something you know a lot about and something that you're really good at. And then using it, here's a key thing. Using it to either, actually, let me just do like this. Display of excellence, teach them something, make them feel good, or make them feel good. That's what you're doing, okay? So you're gonna take something that you know a lot about, do well, and use it to either make somebody feel good or teach them something. Here's an example. I know a lot about psychology, so I'm gonna show that off. That's what I'm excellent at, okay? What are you excellent at? Okay. So what are you excellent at? What do you know a lot about or can do really well? And then so that's the first question. All right. Where's my notes here? D3. All right, yeah, what's something you're passionate about, something you can talk about for hours? So we're gonna take out your notebook right now.
Excuse me, Paolo.
Yes, sir.
Your address for the building?
It is, I'll do it. Yeah. There you go. Thank you. All right, so that's the question. So first off, do we understand like, what a display of excellence is? Is you just showing off what you're excellent at. And that's why we are attracted to people. So like, for example, why do people love LeBron? Because he's excellent at basketball. That's why we're drawn to him. Why are we drawn to Adele? Because she's excellent at singing. Why are we drawn to Steve Jobs? Because he's excellent at creating Apple products. Everybody has an excellence. Does it make sense? So everybody has an excellence. And this is what draws us to them. Okay? Anik, one of his excellence is knowing the law. That's what draws clients to him. Myself, psychology, and also interactions draws people to me. So everybody has an excellence. And so it's either something you know a lot about, do really well, something you're passionate or talk about for hours. So, and then you're going to take that. And here's a mistake. Like one thing you mentioned were like, oh, I love your shirt because it reminds me of my favorite Pokemon, and blah, blah, blah. It's about you. But a display of excellence is using what you know about them. So for example, I know this is really weird, but I'm really into Pokemon, and your yellow actually reminds me of this one Pokemon that has this personality type. And this one's super strong, and I feel like you have the same personality type. Now I made it about them.
Oh.
Yes. So now you're taking the stuff that you know a lot about, and then you're using it to either, to either teach them something, entertain, or feel good. This is how you do it, a DHV, or display of excellence. So here's an example. Things that I know a lot about psychology. I know about social interactions, things I could do really well, magic, I can dance, do karaoke. What I'm passionate about is Batman and helping people. What I could talk about for hours is all the above. And so this is how, right? I know a lot about social psychology. I was in Nashville and I taught girls how to pick up guys. What I could do really well, I could dance. So that's why on the karaoke stage, after I do karaoke, I can meet everybody at the bar. That's my display of excellence. What I'm passionate about, helping people. So I can tell stories about the work that I do with you guys and my vision for it. And I use those things to either, I can either teach them magic, teach them how to pick up people, entertain them with my magic tricks or my stories, or make them feel good by using psychology to tell them something about themselves. So I can teach them that as well. So you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is what we're going to do real fast. So then essentially what you're going to do this is just going to make a list of 5 things, right? Make a list of 5 things. Either stuff that you know a lot, really well, passionate about, talk for hours. So really quick, just make a list of 3 to 5 things.
No matter how cringy.
Huh?
No matter how cringy.
No matter how cringy. So I'm going to help you create your own, but then I'm gonna give you easy ones that you can do for the sake of the experience. Okay. So, write 3 to 5 things that you know a lot about or that you are really good at. That you know a lot about, do really well.
Call it, what, 5 areas of excellence?
Yeah, 5 areas of excellence. So 3 to 5. Let me know when you have it.
These could be things that you're like passionate about or competent in, or
Yeah, yeah.
just like anything.
Like fashion is one of yours. You're very good at that. Yeah. Don't worry about this. I'm gonna explain this in a second.
That's what I have here: fashion, color combinations, visual aesthetics.
Good.
But I'm not gonna claim credit for that, man. That's my culture.
Yeah.
Let me know when you're done.
Is fitness something passionate?
Yep.
Sure, for sure, man. Why do you work out a lot?
Well, I wouldn't say yes, but I feel off. But I do know about fitness. I really do like when I know about fitness. I just don't know how to make someone feel good about, hey, like, you know, your shape or your strength is this and that. I don't know how, like,
I mean, I could see you wearing like fitness gear.
yeah.
I think it look good on your frame. And then you can meet fitness guys who are naturally good looking and in shape.
Yeah, I just don't know how to make people feel good about, themselves when I know whenever I talk about fitness, like, I don't know if I'm saying wrong words or what, but I'm trying to get them. They tend to get self-conscious, like, damn, and I know what they're thinking because I think the same thing, like, damn, I'm out of shape, but I look weird, something like that. But I want to use fitness or what I know about fitness, and it's a lot to get them to feel good about themselves, even though they don't work out, and stuff like that. But again, I don't know how to.
Okay. So, what do you guys have, real quick?
I put down 5 areas: fashion, color combinations, things like that. Criminal law and crazy stories.
Okay.
Like,
Good.
it's kinda
Great.
like
Yes.
for practical application
Yeah.
of it in the social setting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Motorcycles, cars, and
Okay.
I have a story related to that.
All right.
Dance and music,
That's great. I know you're good at that. Yeah.
and then like healthy eating, lifestyle, yoga, organic stuff, and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
All
Good.
in pictures.
That works? Yes. Perfect. Lance, what are yours?
Okay. Alright. So, stuff that I know, Pokemon, Naruto, video games, arcade,
So, anime, video games, yeah.
stuff that I'm passionate about, fitness, music,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so wait, say them again.
Passion, fitness, music, stuff that I know, Pokemon, Naruto, anime,
Yes.
video games, and arcade.
Okay.
I mean by arcade, like, the machine you go through is
Yeah, I know the machine, yeah, yeah. Okay, yours, Andrew.
Photography, hers driving,
Say it again.
hers driving,
Cars, driving, yeah.
um, yeah, struggling with the third though.
Well, is there anything as you do? I mean, photography.
Is that?
Photography.
Yeah.
Did you say that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, if you just come up with 3, I said 3 to 5. So yours was cars, pretty much. Photography, and what was the third one? I mean, we can just work with those 2.
Okay.
All right, cool. So then the next thing is this. With those things, right? What I want you to do is to think about this, and we're just gonna keep it super simple for the purposes of this. I want you to take them and like each of your things, and right next to it, right? Can I teach somebody? Can I entertain them with this? Can I make them feel good? So like for example, as far as photography, you can actually, for photography, all right, you can make people feel good by telling them how aesthetic their faces look. Like I'm a photographer and I know this about people. You see how that works out?
Yeah.
So that's that. I'm just gonna give them to you to make it easier. Yeah. All right. So photography, I can teach like that. For cars, you can entertain them with stories about cars. All right. Or you can teach them something like, hey, do you know what your car says about you? So write them. So that's thing. And by the way, for you two, today you ain't got to worry about this. We're gonna focus on this more for you tomorrow. But I just wanted to give it to you now. All right. So this is what I want you to do, Andrew. For you, what I want you to do is make notes to teach. What do your cars say about you? Write it down, and also any cool stories you have about cars.
The lawyer and me brought this down to educate, entertain, or relate.
That is hella lawyer, good God. That is hella
That's what
lawyer.
lawyers do. We come up with like
Yeah.
alliteration.
The alliteration, yeah. So you also said, so photography, okay? You can teach women how to take better selfies. That's one display of value or display of excellence. Or you can make them feel good by telling them, hey, this is what I notice about your face. I'm a photographer. So, do you see, Andrew, how like we throw these pieces in the conversation, you're all of a sudden interesting?
Yeah. This is good, but
Yeah?
this is like breaking it down.
Yeah, exactly.
I know what my strengths are.
And I love that you said that because now you know what you bring to the table. Because part of confidence is thinking like, well, what makes me special? What do I have to offer? This is your answer. I can tell you about the aesthetic places of the face. I can teach you how to take a good selfie. I'm a photographer. I can tell you what your car means about you. I can tell you a cool car story that I have. Follow? Bless you. Lance.
Bless you, bless you.
So you mentioned anime, arcades, and what else?
Video games.
Video games. So anime, arcade, video game. Anime, video games. What else?
Anime, video games, arcade.
Anime, video games, arcade. Would arcade and video games be in the same boat? Nah, not really. Okay, cool. So this is what you can do, right? It's, first off, own anime, because there's some women who are anime. You've met women who love anime. They are. And I think I sent you a fucking clip of a woman who dresses up in anime. They exist. Those who are you're looking for. You're not looking for the women who are like, oh, that's nerdy. If she says that's nerdy, that's not your woman. I would walk away at that moment. I'm dead ass serious. Don't don't even be like, in my opinion, don't even like try to convince her, because the fact that she's like, oh, like you like anime, what that tells me is that you're gonna have to hide that part of yourself. Like anime is like a passionate thing that you're passionate about. And you have a woman that's like shames you for it and is like, oh, like you're so nerdy. Then that tells me in a relationship, you're either gonna hide it from her, you're not going to watch it as often. And I imagine, don't you want a relationship where you want to be able to sit down with a woman and watch anime together? So that is your way to figure out whether or not she's, I don't care how hot she is. If she's like, oh, get away from me, then then you're not for me. So just keep that in mind. So for you, if I would do this, like for example, so.
Stop right there. So, what's the difference between her playfully saying, "Oh, that's nerdy," and
You can tell the difference. It's a flirting thing, like, oh, you like it? You're a nerd. Versus, you like that? So you can tell the difference. So for example, anime. Okay, you can, if they are into anime, right? What I would do in conversation is that one thing you could do is teach them, be like, hey, I know this is really, but I'm really into anime. You remind me of this one person who has these personality traits. Are you like bold? Like, would you consider yourself bold and adventurous? So now we're relating it to them. We're using my passion to relate to them. So for example, just keep it simple, Goku. And I would be like, hey, this is really random, but I'm really into anime. There's an anime character, this character called Goku, super fighter anyway, but what makes him sticks out is that he's always up to a challenge and always loyal to his friends. And I see the way you're acting. Like, are you the loyal one in your friends? So you see a smile, because you get it now.
Yeah.
You're using what your stuff, and that's how you give value. That's what it looks like to give value. I just gave you value.
Okay.
Okay?
So that's what they mean by what value do you have to bring to the table? It's just simple as that.
Exactly. With now, like entertain, right? You could tell an arcade story. I remember one time I was at this arcade place and it was wild. It was a big tournament. People were drinking and Papa was playing like the ones like from 1980, no Mortal Kombat. Oh my God, I do remember playing no Mortal Kombat. It's crazy, right? So I was there and then all of a sudden the fireworks went off and I won like freaking free beer for a month. It was awesome. You could tell arcade stories. All right. As far as making her feel good, so what is like arcade, anime, and video games.
Yeah.
Like video games, right? So feel good. So one thing you can do is be like, is that like feel good? Is that and I'm just here riffing off the top of my head, but you'd be like, you know, let me see, how can I relate video games? Well, video games comes to the same thing as tell a story or teach them something. So like, so video games, so you'd be like, you're like, oh, call me crazy, but like I never give up, huh?
That's great.
Yeah.
I got it all broken.
Okay. Yeah. I can't wait to hear yours. So like for video games, she'd be like, oh no, not me. I don't give up. Like, that's one thing you're gonna find out about me. I don't give up. Cause like, so I play video games, and the thing is like, it's always hard to play video games, but you have to keep coming back and back. And instead of like rage quitting, you figure out a way. And that taught me. So you could tell a story about video games, and that taught me to like, I don't give up. And so because of that, I just keep going. So now you talk about video games. So for you, your key is gonna be either teach them something or tell them a story. We will break that down tomorrow.
Better with storytelling. Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, everybody has their strength when it comes to one of these. All right. Eventually, you want to get to the point, obviously, where you expand your skill. But for me, I was really good at teaching. So for me, I would use psychology to teach people things about stuff. But then I got better at storytelling. I learned how to make people feel good with jokes. Jokes is another way of displaying of excellence. Like, hey, to show you I'm funny. But you see, Lance, how that works?
What would be a good example of feel good? 'Cause, like for example,
So if I had to be more specific,
fitness or music.
those equal that. So I have to be more specific, either to teach them or entertain them. And the end result is you're going to make them feel good, which is value. Value is making people feel good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So either this or this will equal that. So if you can do one, it'll give you that same result. But if you combine them, you're at playing on another level. Anik, so you seem like have fun. What do you got for me?
Well, I also added one more category, improv accents theater. That's like a new thing I've been
Okay,
exploring.
that's good. That's good.
I have enough experience that it's entertaining
Yeah.
to people.
Yeah.
People tend to like my British accent the most,
Mm-hmm.
but then there's other funny accents I can do that are just like, how the hell where did that come from, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just wondering, for the purposes of meeting people or women, they like the British accent, but like if I do something that's too out there, then it can be kind of goofy or silly or control.
There's a place and time.
Yeah, it's a place and time.
So you can, so the more you get deeper into it,
the more,
the more distiller you can
but
be.
like, what's a safe one that's good? The British accent.
British accent.
Sexy.
Exactly.
It's sexy.
Exactly.
So I'll just stick with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've run sets in a British accent, and they thought I was really English. So,
Yeah.
you know, that was great. So the 6 categories. So I see what you're saying is like, where can this connect with people or bring value? So like fashion, I think you can make them feel good or educate them. I think you had like something you want to share with me about colors.
Yeah, I did. I can.
Because it gives me somewhere to go.
Yeah.
After noticing fashion.
Yeah.
I remember even 4 years ago, they were like, "Are you what do they say, a fashion designer?" That's
Yeah.
what those girls asked
Yeah.
me. That was hilarious. So I was like, because they were like, "You're so detailed and like so observant about everything."
Mm-hmm.
That's something I think I could do. Criminal law, I got a lot of funny stories that are entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like I can come up with stuff.
Mhm.
You know, like I think I just need to figure out like 3 different stories.
From criminal law.
Yeah.
Oh man, you've told me a couple crazy ones. I mean, we could start like you've told great stories, so we can maybe rehash them. I can't even remember them.
I don't want to like creep them out because some shit is very heavy.
No,
like the one I told you about, a 13-year-old.
Don't tell that story.
Yeah, anything involving children is
Don't-
not a story to share.
Don't tell that story. No, don't tell that story.
Like, you know, a 22-year-old who picks up a 13-year-old.
No, nah. But you told me some funny stuff that people some funny stuff of people that just like they got in trouble
Crazy
for it.
shit.
Yeah.
Like defecating on someone's porch.
Yeah, so you can, yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. But for you specific, if you're going to tell stories, you need to tell within the structure.
Yeah, the 10-sentence structure, right?
Yeah, the 3-part. Yeah, you need to.
Oh, within the structure.
Yeah, within. Remember, like, start. And the reason why this affected me is because, and
right.
that's why.
That's what
Like, it needs to be. Yeah.
And then you have with a 10-sentence structure, it's set up and it ends with, and that's why.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
like the takeaway.
Yeah. So it needs to be like that. So yeah, that's very good. Yeah.
I need to refine all my stories that way. Motorcycles, cars, I'm not really sure where to go with that.
So
It's
with
like a guy thing.
so motorcycles, not necessarily. So
Except for my motorcycle story.
you got it exactly.
That's the one.
Yeah. So motorcycle. So by the way, too, I mean motorcycle and cars. Again, keep in your back pocket for talking to dudes. You know, guys will care about maybe M5s, maybe not women, but.
The motorcycle story I tell everybody.
Exactly. Yeah. So you can do that as well. And by the way, and again, guys, right, my recommendation is to start off with just a small handful, right? And I'm gonna teach you guys how to work into the conversation no matter what you're talking about. We're about to do that. But start off with maybe 2, 3 that's in your back pocket. And then you get to expand from there. But yeah, Nick, so it sounds so. Do you have any more?
Yeah. Dance and music. I'm not really sure what to talk about here, but it seems like that's for feeling good.
Yeah, no, that's something you entertain with. So it means that when there's a karaoke bar, you're dancing. All right, like for example, the
There's
place.
not really a story there, right?
You don't need to have a story. So either, right? So it will either look like this. So it will either look like the way it looks like, it will either be a story that you tell. Again, something that you teach, or something that you show off / demonstrate. That's how it's gonna look like. I'm gonna demonstrate. So for example, all right, Anik, your lawyer stories, or if you want to tell, and by the way, you can tell a story about everything, but yeah, pretty much everything. So like with you would tell a story about something crazy that happened while you were playing arcade once. All right, Andrew, you could tell a story about when you went on a wild photography thing and you saw a beautiful bird. You can do that. As far as teach them, because there's some things you can teach, right? Here's the way I think about it. I think about it like this. Actually, I think about it in reverse order. 1, 2, 3. I prefer to show and demonstrate. That's the strongest form of display of excellence. Like there's one thing to tell you I can sing. Another thing, you see me sing. So if you can demonstrate it, demonstrate it. But sometimes for example, doing karaoke and dance. Bruno Mars, I get on stage, I kill it. But at the bars we were yesterday, there was no stage. So if I can't do it, I'm either gonna tell a story about it or teach somebody how to rock a stage. If I can't teach them how to rock a stage, which like, all right, here's how to rock a stage, unless they're interested, I'm gonna default to a story. So out of all your things, what you wanna look at is like, all right, can I demonstrate this? No? Okay, cool. Can I teach them how to do it? And like, maybe. Can I tell them a story about it? Then yes. All right?
So if I can show them, demonstrate,
Yeah.
if I can teach them.
So like, for example, if you are at an actual arcade place, show her that you're nasty at it, right? But if you're we're not Vegas, we were in an arcade, so you're gonna tell a story about something that happened there.
Yeah.
And do you see how this makes sense? So some of your things, again, they might be person specific, right? Because you're like, all right, like for example, if you talk to me about cars, I'm not gonna be really interested. So you could tell me about your M5, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. But if you tell me about karaoke, you tell me you're putting a lawyer story, I'm hooked. Because here's the other thing too, guys. Like you might have to throw a couple of these, because you never know. Throw a couple of these. All right. So now we're gonna do the last thing, which is how to intentionally work these, and it's simple. You know it before, but I'm gonna show you how it looks like. You're gonna use the words. This is the bridge to it, or the transition. Transition. You're gonna go, by the way, setup question, display of excellence. I'm gonna set it up. So you can call it the transition or the setup. So I'm gonna show you what that looks like. Ready? Let me just go back here. Ready? So it looks like this. Looks like this. I compliment you. Hey, nice shirt. This, that, and the other. Very nice. Oh, are you James Bond? Okay, cool. Not James Bond. Blah, blah, blah. Now ready? Now ready? By the way, which James Bond is your favorite? Because they say what the James Bond that you like says a lot about you. Boom, I go into using my display of excellence, which is psychology. So if I were you, boom, boom. By the way, do you always wear that colored dress? Is that your favorite color? No, because I'm really into colors, and actually the color of your dress says a lot about a person. Like if you wear pink, it says this about you. If you wear orange, or
I need to learn this routine. 'Cause I
right,
actually think it's interesting.
yeah, and it's something I actually like. I'm gonna be honest, something I just created for you this morning.
You just made it up, or it's actually
No. It's like no. I didn't make it. Like I didn't make it up, but I put it together. Like it's not something that I personally use, but I'm like, you know,
I
Anik's,
love colors.
yeah, Anik's into fashion. I was like, let me put something together for you. So I didn't make it up. Like this is actually based on something,
Yeah.
but I'm like, let me just create something for
That's
Anik.
perfect because it gives me
But you-
something. And then, by the way, this reminds me.
But you see how you can progress the conversation?
Yeah.
Now you moving in a direction. So like, so another thing, like say Anik, or if you want to tell one of your stories, you'd be like, they'd be like, you know, you're talking about getting dressed and fashion, and
You
you'd be
always
like,
ask me like, so what do you do, right?
Yeah.
And then I always have the introduction. Well, I'm the one phone call you get when your ass gets locked up.
and then go,
They're
yeah,
like, oh,
yeah.
criminal lawyer, and then I'll be like, yeah. By the way, this reminds me. No, whatever.
That's exactly it. Does this make sense to you,
Yeah,
Anik?
because everyone always asks what you do, right? That's like the first thing they'll ask you after your name.
Yeah.
So
And so
that's kind of my setup into the.
exactly. And by the way, too, like this is how you like, because you don't want to just stay talking about the compliment, because that's how you get to the point where it's like, okay, it was nice talking to you. Like you did a good job, but you didn't give them a reason to want to stay. You didn't give them a reason to want to invest. All right, because if you notice when we gave compliments at the mall, people are like, oh, great, that's fantastic. And then it died down.
Yeah.
So this is how
Where do you go from there?
where do you go from there? Here's your answers. Where do I go from here? Boop, here's the next place, the next thing. If you look at this is where I go next. So the way my mind's thinking is, after I've done this, where do I go next? To here. So again, for you, Lance, if I were you, let's say anime, I'm talking, I would be like, hey, blah, 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 nice comment. Like, by the way, I know it's a random question, but are you into anime by any chance? No, I'm not. No, because the reason why I'm saying is because there's this guy that he's very loyal to his friends, and I get this loyal sense about you. Or like, would you consider yourself loyal? What did I do? I taught them something about themselves and made them feel that. I called her loyal.
Oh, okay.
And she's going to be like, yeah, I'm the loyal one of my friends. And then you just start talking about that topic.
How about her being loyal with her friends, or
It just-
her being loyal?
It's just regular conversation. That's the next topic of conversation.
Oh.
So like, for example, I'm like, oh, so are you the loyal one in your friends? Would you consider yourself that?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like, yeah, oh no, I can tell too, like I'm very loyal and stuff like that. So do you look out for people? Now you're just having a conversation off of that.
Oh, okay.
Make sense?
Yeah. And don't overthink it.
Don't overthink it. Yeah, just you're having regular freaking conversations. So Anik, does this make sense to you? As far as
Yeah. So for me, it would be like after I tell a story or two, once they've cooked in.
now you what?
Before flirting, leave.
Yeah, before flirting. Yeah, so for you, after you've done it in, and because imagine like,
Done a couple stories or whatever.
yeah, so like a couple stories like, oh, you know, your dress means this about you. And like, oh my God, yes. And like, okay, well, I'm gonna talk to my friend. I'll be right back. Leave them on that high. Okay.
So, compliment, look, display excellent, leave.
Oh.
Around the room, come back, flirt, and flirting will be opening up with the energy that you left them off with from the beginning.
For you, pay attention. This is for you. You talk to them open. You say a joke to hook them in. Then you leave.
Oh, okay.
You're leaving. This is a beginner and a little bit advanced. And so for you, then you leave. Then you come back and do everything. Anik is just different. Anik, he's just leaving after one more step. But don't worry about Anik. You are in black.
Gotcha.
That's what you're doing. Follow?
Yeah.
So we have about 10 minutes or so like that. So what I want to do is I want to quickly run for everybody, for you guys, at least to here. I want you guys to work on this. Where you compliment and you follow it up with a joke, story, or question. Anik, I want you to go till here. Or do you feel pretty confident you just want to get out there and do it?
Yeah, but I wanna know this routine.
Gotcha, yeah.
I really wanna know this, because this
Yeah.
is gonna actually make
Yeah.
me more educated in fashion.
Yeah. So what I'll do is, because we're in one, two, because I picked the most common colors that women are likely to wear. Let me see, one,
Based
two,
on psychology?
3. Yes, it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
That's more than enough colors.
Yeah, more than enough colors. I'll leave it up to you to pick up which ones you want to remember. But I just picked like yellow, green, blue, orange, pink, red, purple, white, and black. Those are the most average colors you'll see. I'll leave it up to you to memorize and to pick as you will. Or maybe you can look at your phone real quick before you go and approach. So,
I'll be like,
yeah.
I'm studying this for years.
Yeah. So, all right. So we're gonna work on it with you two. You feel confident? All right. So I want to see a couple with you two, and then we will change and then do the pool party.
Only fruit. I don't eat bread, man.
Interesting.
Okay. What's the fucking
If I do,
space?
it kills me. That's why I didn't go out Wednesday night. I was just like suffering from a burger. I was like, dude, I should have gone out. I just gone out there to the Sphere or the strip club in Mile. I'd be like, dude, I'm going out.
You don't eat bread?
No.
Why not?
Cause problems.
Lettuce wrap. And then there's also this Flying Dutchman. And instead of the bread, they put grilled onion, like slice of grilled onion as a patty instead.
Yeah, vegetables are fun.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys ready? So I want to see freaking before the paragraph. Andrew and here we go. This is what I wanted. Andrew and Lance. So you guys, we're gonna do a little practice, and I want to see you guys do it up to here, and I'll show you what it looks like.